We're all thrilled with the Browns' 2026 draft class on paper, but we never actually discussed which of these Browns rookies we think will have the biggest year one impact.
If you go back and watch, the practices and look at it, I think it's obvious Denzel Boston is going to have the most impact.
The Cleveland Browns have a rookie class that looks exciting on paper, but the real question is not who looks good in June. The real question is who actually changes games when the season starts. Every year, fans fall in love with rookies during minicamp. A receiver makes a few catches, a defensive back flashes in drills, an offensive lineman gets praised by a coach. Suddenly, everybody wants to crown somebody before pads even come on. But this Browns class is different because there are multiple rookies who could realistically have a major role right away. This is about year one impact. Who steps on the field in 2026 and helps the Browns immediately? Who earns snaps? Who produces? Who becomes a player the coaching staff has to trust? Denzel Boston has the upside and the early buzz. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren has the defensive versatility. Spencer Fano could become the silent answer if he locks down the offensive line. And Parker Brailsford could quietly end up being one of the most important rookies on the whole team if he wins the center job.
Deshaun Watson finds him open, okay? Watch practice, Shedeur Sanders finds him open. Doesn't seem to be missing any balls. It doesn't seem like the speed of the game is too big for him. He plays the same against, rookies. He plays the same way against veterans. The first few practices.
Denzel Boston is the name that jumps out first when talking about the player who could make the loudest impact. He has a chance to become one of the top targets in this offense much faster than people expected. During practice reports, the same thing kept coming up. Deshaun Watson found him open, Shedeur Sanders found him open. He was not just making plays against backups or rookies. He looked like the speed of the game was not too big for him. That matters because a rookie receiver can have talent, size, and college production, but if the NFL tempo overwhelms him, he disappears fast. Boston has not looked overwhelmed. He has the size, the athleticism, and the confidence to play like a grown receiver already. Andrew Berry reportedly wanted him to come in and be a bully, and early practice reports suggest he has played with that kind of edge. The Browns do not need another receiver who just looks good in shorts. They need someone who can win contested catches, handle physical coverage, and become reliable for whichever quarterback wins the job. If Boston keeps stacking practices, he could end up as the number 1 or number 2 target before the season is over. Jerry Jeudy has talent, but he has to prove the drops are behind him. Other young receivers are fighting for roles. The offense is changing under Todd Monken, and that gives rookies a real opening. Boston is not walking into a room where every target is already locked up. He is walking into a room where the Browns are still trying to figure out who can be trusted. If he keeps catching the ball cleanly and winning matchups, the ball will find him. The quarterback situation also helps Boston's case. Whether it is Watson or Shedeur, both quarterbacks need a receiver they can trust. Watson needs someone who can separate and give him easy answers as he tries to prove he can still run an offense. Shedeur needs dependable targets who can uncover, win at the catch point, and help him avoid negative plays if he gets on the field. Boston has the type of skill set that can build trust quickly. But the strongest argument against Boston is that rookie receivers can be unpredictable. Practice buzz is not the same as regular season production. Once defensive coordinators get film, once press coverage gets more physical, once timing has to be perfect, the game changes. The Browns still have to see how he responds when the hits are real, the windows shrink, and the pressure rises. The upside is huge, but the regular season will tell the truth.
I think this guy is built like one of them dudes. Like he's one of those guys where we got a dude that the size, the athleticism, and I love what Andrew Berry said. Hey man, we want you to come in and be a bully. And in these first few games of practice, he has been just that. I think he's going to end up as the number 1 or number 2 target.
Emmanuel McNeil-Warren is the defensive chess piece who could quietly become one of the most valuable rookies in the class. He made plays all over the field in college. He showed range, instincts, box ability, and a feel for the football. That kind of versatility matters on a Browns defense trying to build a new identity. After big roster changes, the defense needs young players who can do multiple things. McNeil-Warren fits that perfectly. He is not just a safety who sits deep and waits. He can move around. He can play near the line. He can cover space. He can track the ball. He can give the defensive coordinator a hybrid tool. And that matters because modern defenses are built around flexibility. If you can disguise coverages, rotate late, and put versatile players in different spots, you can make life harder on quarterbacks. McNeil-Warren has the kind of skill set that could let the Browns use him in packages right away. The interesting part is that he played in the MAC, and sometimes players from those schools get overlooked, but that doesn't mean they can't play. The transcript compared the situation to Harold Fannin coming from Bowling Green and making an impact. Football players are football players. If a guy has instincts, toughness, range, and production, the league eventually notices. McNeil Warren may not have the same hype as a first-rounder from a powerhouse program, but he has the kind of football personality coaches love. He's around the ball. He makes things happen. In Cleveland's defense, there may be room for a rookie like that to carve out a role quickly. The Browns are trying to find their new defensive identity. McNeil Warren does not need to be a full-time star in Week 1 to have a strong rookie season. He just needs to earn a role, create impact plays, and become someone the staff trusts in certain packages. A few turnovers, some big tackles, and strong special teams value could make his rookie year look impressive fast. Still, if we are ranking best 2026 season, the problem for McNeil Warren is opportunity. Defensive backs can be impactful, but if he is rotating or playing package snaps, his counting stats may not jump off the screen. Boston has a cleaner path to highlights. A receiver can catch touchdowns and instantly become a fan favorite. A safety or hybrid defender might play really well and still not get national attention unless he creates turnovers. McNeil Warren could be one of the best rookies on tape, but Boston might be the one people talk about more.
I think he's got really good instincts. He's got a knack for the football. And in this defense, which we're trying to find a new identity, I think they'll find a role for him because he can play so many different positions and has so much versatility. I think, you know, Ruttenberg's going to have himself a nice little hybrid tool in his toolbox with this kid.
Spencer Fano might be the most important rookie, even if nobody talks about him every week. Offensive linemen are different. If they play well, people barely mention them. If they play badly, everyone notices. That is the unfair reality. But for the Browns, Fano could be massive because of the quarterback situation. Whether Watson starts or Shedeur gets his chance, Cleveland needs the offensive line to be stable. Both quarterbacks need protection. Both need the run game to help. If Fano becomes a day one starter and plays most of the season, that might be one of the biggest wins of the entire rookie class. Offensive tackle can take time. Even talented tackles need reps. NFL pass rushers are different. The speed, power, hand usage, and counter moves are a major jump from college. If Fano struggles early, that would not be shocking. But if he starts from week 1, plays 15 or 16 games, and improves throughout the season, that is a successful rookie year. It may not be flashy, but it might matter more than a receiver catching a few big plays. Offensive line stability can change everything for an offense. The Browns' offense was not good enough last year, and part of improving that is fixing protection and creating consistency up front. Todd Monken can design a better system, but the system only works if the line holds up. If Fano becomes a reliable starter, the quarterback battle becomes easier to evaluate. You cannot fairly judge Watson or Shedeur if the line is constantly breaking down. Coaches might look at Fano as the rookie who has to deliver the most.
It's hard to measure with Mason Graham because the counting stats just aren't there. Because I was on your track with Boston. I was sort of between Boston and Spencer Fano because the line was so bad.
Yeah, me too. I thought I was going to go with that.
And I thought, like, it better be Fano because you got, regardless who the starting quarterback is, you got two quarterbacks who hold the ball. So you better get this line in order. But it you know, sometimes it takes left tackles a minute to sort of figure things out. So I would probably lean toward you with Boston.
Parker Brailsford might be the sleeper answer that ends up being correct. Center is not sexy, but center is everything for an offense. The center has to make calls, understand protections, communicate with the quarterback, handle the mental side, and still survive physically against NFL defensive tackles. Brailsford is already talked about as someone who could start. That alone makes him a serious candidate for best rookie season. If a 5th-round pick becomes a starting center as a rookie, that is a huge win. Todd Monken may already have 4 offensive line starters in mind, with the final spot depending on how the center and guard situation shakes out. If Brailsford wins the center job, Alton Jenkins can move back to guard, where he may be more comfortable. That would affect the whole offensive line structure. Brailsford is not just competing for one spot. His development could determine the best 5-man combination up front. That is a big deal. The early reports on Brailsford have been positive. The Browns have been impressed with how he has handled the mental side. Offensive line coaches usually do not hand out big praise casually, so when there's talk that the transition has not been difficult for him, that stands out. His size was the concern coming out, but his technique, leadership, and knowledge were strengths. That sounds a lot like the kind of center Monken can work with, especially after having success with Tyler Linderbaum in Baltimore, another undersized but athletic center. If Brailsford starts at center and plays well, he might have the most valuable rookie season, even if Boston has the best highlights. A starting center affects every snap. He affects the run game, the pass protection, the quarterback's comfort, and the entire offensive rhythm. If he can hold up physically and use his athleticism in space, the Browns can build parts of the offense around what he does well. That is how a 5th-round rookie becomes a steal. But the risk with Brailsford is physicality. Mental command in June is one thing. Handling grown NFL defensive linemen in September is another. He cannot get tossed around. He cannot just be smart. He has to be strong enough, balanced enough, and technically clean enough to hold up every week. If he gets overwhelmed by power, the Browns may have to protect him or adjust the line. The ceiling is real, but so is the test.
I would not be surprised if Brailsford is a major mover on the offensive line, which says a lot for what is it? What 5th-round pick is he? Is he
5th round pick.
Fifth round.
And you get a 5th-round pick to start a center. Well,
As a rookie? Yeah.
It'd be a huge one.
That's a win.
Boston is the exciting answer because he can become a weapon. McNeil Warren is the defensive answer because he can become a versatile playmaker. Fano is the trenches answer because the Browns need tackle stability. Brailsford is the smart sleeper because center could change the whole offense. All four can make a real case, but they do it in different ways. If we're talking about who will have the best visible season, I lean Denzel Boston. He has the path to targets, the early practice buzz, the size, the hands, and the chance to become a major part of the offense quickly. Fans remember catches, they remember touchdowns, they remember third down conversions. If Boston becomes the number 2 target or even pushes for number 1, the conversation is over. That would be a massive rookie season. But if we are talking about who could have the most important season for the Browns' actual success, Parker Brailsford might be the answer. If he starts at center as a rookie, that impacts everything. It helps the quarterback, it helps the run game, it helps the structure of the offensive line, and it gives Cleveland a young anchor at one of the smartest positions on the field. That is not flashy, but it is winning football. This rookie class could help define Cleveland's next phase. The Browns are not just trying to find one fun rookie, they are trying to build a young core that can grow around whatever happens at quarterback. Whether Watson starts, these rookies need to help him win now. Whether Shedeur eventually plays, these rookies could grow with him into the future. That makes Boston, Fano, Brailsford, and McNeil Warren more than just first-year players. They could become the foundation of the next Browns identity. My answer is Denzel Boston for the best rookie season because he has the clearest path to production, and the early signs are already loud. But Brailsford might be the one who quietly changes the offense the most. Would you rather have the rookie receiver who becomes a top target right away, or the rookie center who stabilizes the entire offense from the first snap? Because if Cleveland hits on both, this 2026 rookie class will not just be on paper, it could become the class that starts changing the Browns' future.